This policy making is based upon fantasy and hits those people who are the wealth creators and the lifeblood of this country. And whether it is the Greater Manchester Clean Air Zone, whether it is ULEZ, it should be stopped by our government. Thank you very much indeed, Mr Stringer. And as a fellow Greater Manchester MP, I'm sure it will be as much a shock to you as it is to me that none of your Labour Party colleagues are here today in terms of what is a huge issue that affects every single person in Greater Manchester. I'm afraid that I take a very straightforward view in respect of it. It is inconceivable that any government could allow the interests of the green lobby to trump those of hard-working people in our constituency. It comes down to a basic fact that our constituents should not be taxed in any way, shape or form to support what I consider to be an agenda which is utterly damaging to both my constituents and the country. I consider the net zero agenda, it's worthy of Marx. It's the opium of the middle-class liberal masses. They are determined to impose upon the rest of us what nobody wants, and again, which is a speciality of the Labour Party, imposing taxation upon the people who cannot afford it. I for the whole of my professional career, have worked in the private sector. I am self-employed when I'm not being a Member of Parliament. I cannot look, white van, the guys who go out, the plumbers, the taxi drivers, the electricians, all of those who go out into the community to work hard. When Andy Burnham first put forward the Greater Manchester Clean Air Zone, it was astonishing in its scale. 493 square miles, the world's largest clean air zone. And nobody's ever been able to give us a reason as to why they were imposing it in the first place. There is no health benefits of it. It is absolutely the same and the norm about many things we see in politics. It is the generalisation. It is people wanting my constituents to believe something without proving any of it makes any difference. And every single person in this room knows that we can look into these cameras wherever they are, and we can try and sort of be liberal and nice. And in these circumstances, we would think that the clean air zone might work. They never work because they don't achieve anything, and they penalise the people that elect us. How on earth can we come up with a policy that puts taxi drivers out of business? Andy Burnham spent £50 million on a scheme, 50 million, on a scheme which he planned to introduce on the 30th of May 2022. Then miraculously, when his mayoral election was coming in the same few months, it was stopped 2 months earlier, amazingly, when the backlash regarding the scale of the proposals was put forward. It's political opportunism mixed with ideology, and it's something we should fight with every sinew of our bodies. I am surprised, my great friend the Minister is here, but bearing in mind the Greater Manchester MPs have always dealt with DEFRA in respect of the clean air charging zone in my area, it is a surprise to see a transport minister here, especially because we've had no interaction. Knowing the minister like I do, this minister is a red wall minister. He believes in low taxation. He believes in supporting the self-employed. He believes in everything that makes all of the people in this room a conservative. And he certainly, in my view, and I'm sure he will challenge me if I'm mischaracterising him, does not believe that excess taxation should go on working people. And it is fundamentally wrong to please the liberal masses. It's not pleasing anybody, just please the reason why the Labour Party aren't here is they can't show the face. This is a policy that's put in place just to please Guardian readers. We've got to get away from this as both a government and a set of individuals. I could, Mr Stringer, go through, just to quote this, it's been reported to me, and this has never been challenged by anybody, that the Greater Manchester Clean Air Zone would cost my constituents who have the temerity of leaving their driveway to go to work anywhere between £3,285 and £36,500 a year, depending on the nature of their business, the nature of the individuals. Can you imagine that, inventing something that actually charges you for leaving your driveway? And that's what Andy Burnham did. Now, Andy Burnham thankfully admitted that the government did not force him to come forward with the proposal, and I asked the Minister, through his good officers, to take back to whoever is going to make the final decision regarding the Greater Manchester Clean Air Zone, that we are a Conservative party. We don't believe in excess taxation. We believe in evidence-based policy, where there has to be some reason to do it. My constituents aren't dropping down dead as a result of alleged dirty air. It just doesn't happen. I've been searching high and low for the evidence to show the excessive health consequences of dirty air in my area. And, Mr Stringer, there is none. So there is no evidence It puts people out of business. It allows Andy Burnham and other politicians to waste huge amounts of monies. We've given him £120 million as well to retrofit vehicles. I was in the astonishing position a few weeks ago, it might be a few months ago now, in this chamber, in this building, where somebody came down from Transport for Greater Manchester, and we were talking about the active travel, I think the commissioner was called, which seems to be the old thing, encouraging people that no matter what your age is, that jump on a bicycle if you're 85, you know, and go into the local town centre is the way to go, and let's spend millions of pounds in respect of it. The Ongolon Way around my constituency has been reduced from a two-lane ring road to a one-lane ring road. And bearing in mind the impact of that is to cause monumental congestion, the not unreasonable question was put to the person from TFGM, I won't name here, but if people want to know, I can name it. And it was said that the plan, I am not making this up, was to create so much congestion for 6 to 7 years, deliberately, to make sure that everyone would jump out of their cars, get on their bikes, and walk from Ramsbottom in my constituency, which is about 15 miles away, into the centre of Bury if they want to get around. This policy making is based upon fantasy and hits those people who are the wealth creators and the lifeblood of this country. And whether it is the Greater Manchester Clean Air Zone, whether it is ULEZ, it should be stopped by our government. It is not a policy that works for anybody else. And we need to get away from just following the noise of the liberal media who this policy and these policies are all about. The Labour Party don't believe in supporting my constituents. They believe in policies which punish them, and that's the reason why none of them are here today. Thank you.